when we used to swim in the river, when you got out, you had to go home and take a bath in kerosene to get the tar off of you.
I can remember when I was little, they'd talk about three-eyed fishes.
Well, I remember seeing little chunks of brown stuff float down the river. I don't know that.
Well, there it said, flush your toilet, Lima needs the water.
Once upon a time, the Ottawa River was treated as a convenient dumping ground, the repository of our waste. This treatment effectively killed the river for many years and decimated its wildlife,
affecting the entire watershed from Dola to Kalida.
But today, the Ottawa River has made a tremendous comeback. It's much cleaner and is alive with fish and other aquatic life. This video celebrates the return to health of the Ottawa River. The Ottawa River was mistreated for decades. In fact, Benjamin Farote was taken to court for dumping in the 19th century.
10,000 bushels of lime were used each year in the process of Ben Farote's paper mill. That was later dumped into the Ottawa River. Well, in 1875, a lawsuit came about, and his attorneys created a hung jury by stating that you can't hang this on Ben Farote. Others have been polluting this river and dumping raw sewage into that very same river.
Residents saw everything float by.
Everything from human waste to condoms to sanitary napkins, anything that would go down a toilet or could be dumped out on the street would go in there.
It was terribly filthy. I mean, nobody with any sense would get into it.
One morning we got up and all the trim on our house was black. And all the homes along the river had turned black. So they said that was something that was released in Lima. It was a chemical reaction to the base of the paint that had turned it black.
I would see oil coming down the river. I mean, big patches of oil, like 2 and 3 foot diameter, and some, maybe 10, 15 foot diameter patches of oil just floating down the river. And then a couple occasions, it was actually on fire. The oil was on fire as it came by.
Jim Rex suffered third-degree burns when he was 11 after he and a friend lit a match to explore a drain pipe opening onto the Ottawa River in Lima.
The match ignited some sewer gas or something else, whatever, and it was just like a flash camera, if you want to know what it looked like, because we were fortunate that both of us had our eyes closed at the time it went off, or we would have suffered some eye damage. And the only thing left of my t-shirt was just a ring around my arm.
Waste from so many different sources was being dumped into the river, and that took its toll on the vegetation and wildlife. An EPA study in 1987 revealed that half the fish in portions of the Ottawa River contained some type of deformity or lesion. Today, that number is less than half of 1%.
About 1987 or so, we were here, and of the water quality attainment goals for this river, only 9.6% of the streams met that goal. And we came back in 2010, and our survey is showing us that 74% of the streams, the Ottawa River and the creeks that feed into it, are meeting their water quality goals.
This is really what many people think is the end point of pollution abatement efforts. The restoration of a sport species. Smallmouth bass is a highly desirable sport species, and there's absolutely no shortage of smallmouth bass, even in this little reach here tucked inside of an urban center.
A number of factors contributed to this stunning improvement. The passage of the Clean Water Act, public and industrial wastewater improvements, farmland conservation practices, the formation of the Ottawa River Coalition, and the realization by industry, agriculture, and individuals that everything we do impacts the river.
There's a lot of work that's been done from Ohio EPA through the regulatory process, working with the cities and the industries to reduce discharges into the streams. And largely, a lot of it is on property owners locally. People have been really conscientious, and they're working to make improvements out in the rural part of the watershed with the agricultural community, as well as stormwater controls and things within the more urbanized areas and controlling that.
With the passage of the Clean Water Act in 1972, the community began a concerted effort of investing in our waste systems. Private industry did the same, and now we truly do have a recovered river.
We've invested in water quality treatment processes that now allow us to treat every drop of water that falls on the refinery property. We treat that water before it's discharged to the Ottawa River.
Even though we'd love to take credit for the improvements in water quality, we recognize that that is the efforts of many of our partners and community members that have allowed us to enjoy improved water quality. We feel that our role has been public awareness and public education and helping people connect to the landscape, connect to the river, and understand how their individual actions certainly make a difference.
There has also been a serious effort made to educate both adults and youth about ways they can contribute to water quality and participate in projects like the annual Ottawa River Cleanup.
We get out somewhere between 8 to 12 tons, depending upon how much is accumulated over the winter. Lots and lots of fast food containers, a lot of tires. I don't know why people think the river's a good place to dump their tires. Usually there's a shopping cart or two, and then just all kinds of miscellaneous stuff.
We do this because we're a community center on the south side of Lima, and we want to give back to the community. We brought our children here to give them a sense of pride as to what it is to keep Lima beautiful and clean, the city that they stay in. And so this is why we do it, because we give back to the community.
The Ottawa River has recovered to the point where it's a source of beauty and recreation as it flows through our community. And much of that enjoyment takes place along the Riverwalk.
On a daily basis, really the entire gamut takes place on the Riverwalk along the Ottawa River. Everything from dogs, dog walkers, to bicyclists. We've got a lot of walkers in particular. Probably the biggest use are the walkers, but we also have people that jog pretty much the entire length on a daily basis.
You get up to a high elevation crossing the railroad, and you can also see across into the quarries, which is kind of a Grand Canyon experience. You know, I think it's kind of exciting.
There's a pretty nice bass and catfish. I have caught bass in here about 20 inches long.
It's just booming with wildlife. There's all kinds of little critters running around and all kinds of fish in the water. You can see them from time to time swimming on through. It's really neat to see what's coming about.
The Ottawa River is still not fully recovered, and efforts continue to return the natural resource to healthy and safe conditions for the community. But there are concerns that the cost to do so will outweigh the benefits.
A portion of the significant improvements to the health of the Ottawa River, noted in the 2010 EPA study, can be attributed to the nearly $50 million invested into wastewater capital improvements over the last 20 years. Most of the capital funds were generated by customers of the sewer district through collection of sewer billing and property assessments.
You know, with enough money, we could build enough structures, probably get us there. But part of our question right now is that, you know, is Congress going to step up and help fund some of this? Are the EPA going to give us basically some relief so that we can basically phase these processes in within a reasonable amount of time? Or are we going to be giving people not $50 or $60 a month sewer bills? We're going to be giving them $100 to $150 a month sewer bills.
A lot of what the cities have to do is expensive. The combined sewer overflows, those things are expensive. We recognize that, and we try to branch it out so there's a number of years that they can space out the work and make it affordable.
The Ottawa River is a small river with many demands placed on it. Everyone's actions have an impact on its quality. How can you help to contribute to a healthy river? Make sure your car isn't leaking fluids. Wash your car in the grass. Apply lawn chemicals according to directions. Pick up pet waste. Keep trash and oil out of storm drains.
We either contribute to the problem or we contribute to the answer. And I think that the environment that we create here is truly the result of our concerted efforts.
We can have an impact on this and certainly do. And by increasing that knowledge, we're making this, you know, a more beautiful river. And hopefully, you know, in another 10, 20 years, it's even better.
If people can make a personal connection with that river, whether physically or otherwise, because then that fosters behavior and attitudes that will change actions and then ultimately change water quality.
The individual efforts of everyone in the watershed are significant, and if we all work together, we can restore the Ottawa River to a beautiful natural resource that will continue to thrive and be a source of enjoyment for all of us.